All right. Welcome, everybody, to the Willow Legal Groove Coffee Chat. We are here today with Brad Scott. He's the executive and athletic director of Olney Boys and Girls Club, master of all the sports for all the kids in the area. Brad began his career at OBGC in 2016 after having coached his son and daughter in many different sports, including house baseball, house and travel basketball, flag football, and travel baseball. Whew, that's a lot.
There's a lot. I was pretty busy during those years.
Yeah. Brad enthusiastically took the opportunity to combine his love of coaching and volunteering at OBGC and became the sports manager. Then Brad began overseeing a majority of the sports offered at OBGC and worked with the commissioners to ensure the best possible experience for all kids and families who participate in the OBGC programs. In 2021, Brad was promoted to executive athletic director, overseeing all aspects of OBGC. And he's got a lot going on, a lot coming up for the club. So welcome, Brad. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
So I have a kid that played OBGC soccer for a little while.
Okay.
And flag football.
I thought he did other stuff
he did
too.
football too.
Awesome.
So it's a great organization.
Yeah, I've heard great things. I obviously met Brad. He didn't mention, or Megan didn't mention yet, Brad is also the president of the board of the Cropdusters, our new Olney collegiate baseball team. So I met Brad through that organization. And I have two littles that are getting to that age. So I will be chatting with him for the fall to see.
We'll be looking for them.
Yeah. You'll know they're there. Don't worry.
I know.
But Brad, so tell us a little bit more about OBGC. I know most people local to Olney have heard of it, but I occasionally come across people who say, wait, what are you talking about? So tell us.
So OBGC is a local youth organization. We're blessed to have a huge property right off of 108, like 130 acres. Multiple baseball and softball fields, multiple soccer fields, flag football, pretty much every sport lacrosse, every sport that you can think of, we offer at OBGC. We do offer like wrestling and basketball in the winter as well. So we have sports going around the calendar year. We see roughly 10,000 kids a year through all our different seasons. So we have quite a few. And then we have awesome camps as well. So we go in the summertime with our camp programs and have everything from softball, baseball, lacrosse, soccer, basketball. So wide range of field hockey, wide range of different camp offerings as well.
That's very busy.
We are very busy, and we're pretty excited. We had our biggest spring registration ever this year, which was awesome to see. So that the numbers are, ever since COVID, the numbers have been like really going through the roof, and it's good to see families coming out. And a lot of kids we found are playing multiple sports, so they'll sign up and play soccer on Saturdays and then come play flag football on Sundays. So they're getting as active as they can.
That's great. I know COVID really did a number on kids getting stuck inside. So this is.
Yeah. I think people felt like they lost it, and then they're like, all right, now they kind of appreciated, all right, we need to be back out there and playing and everything. So it was kind of like they didn't have it that 1 year. And then it's like, all right, let's keep them as busy as we can. Let's get them back out there.
And if I remember correctly, everything's volunteer, like all the sports are volunteer coached in that piece, right? So there's a big piece of the community stepping up and coming together to support these kids and help run the programs.
Yeah, that's one of the best parts of OBGC. It's a volunteer-based organization. I'm the only full-time employee for the amount of space and facilities and everything that we have. So it all is, volunteer head coaches, volunteer commissioners that help run the different sports. We have a great partner that does all of our landscaping and takes care of the park. But we run very lean so that we can invest as much as we can into the facility part of the organization. So the kids have the best fields and the place looks beautiful when you pull in, and, we can spend the money that we have on upgrades and doing different things, along with we have a huge scholarship program that we're obviously very proud of as well. So, the money that we have that's extra kind of goes to scholarship programs and then towards like the betterment of the park. So we do run pretty lean.
That's awesome. And I don't think anybody mentioned that OBGC is a nonprofit. So that's super important.
Yep. 501c3.
So what else do you guys do? I know you guys are super active all year round, and a couple of the things that you hold on the property, Field of Screams and Winter Lights.
Yep. So we have 2 seasonal fundraising events that we do. Field of Screams has been around for 20 plus years. You know, it runs from the end of September until the end of October. It's become a huge tradition. Like Halloween people are like their own entity, and they travel from all over to come into the Olney area. So not only, you know, is it great for us in terms of fundraising for like the scholarship program and for the, you know, for the park, but the businesses in the area benefit greatly. You know, we hear from the restaurants, the Low and Oaks of the world, the Olney stations of the world, that when the events go on, they get, you know, busy, and people buy gas when they're driving from Pennsylvania. And, you know, so it's great that it's able to kind of help the economy here. And then there another night where families can stay in the Olney area and not have to travel outside. So you could make it a whole evening and have dinner here and then come to Field of Screams or come to Winter City Lights. So great events. We employ a ton of people for the seasonal fundraising events as well. So there's a lot of people that are able to make some extra income for the holidays as well. So it's been kind of a blessing all the way around.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I don't think I was aware that those were fundraisers for OBGC, and that, you know, you got to pay for the staff, but that the money goes back into the programs and scholarships and all of that. Tell us more about the scholarships.
It's you know, one of the best things about our organization is that we never will tell a kid they can't play. We always want to make it work so that, you know, no matter what, nobody's going to be turned away. And we've given between $50,000 and $100,000 a year, you know, in scholarship money for different sports, so that kids could otherwise wouldn't be able to afford to play are able to do so. So it's one of the programs that we feel really good about and that we're the most excited about, because it's an opportunity to give back and to make sure that kids have that outlet and they're able to, you know, play and have a positive environment and, you know, stay busy. And we hear from the parents at the end, a lot of times when they've been through our program, about what a lifesaver that was to keeping kids moving in the right direction and away from, you know, kids that are busy are a lot better than kids that are not busy and have things to do. So there's just been great stories that have come out over the years that we've gotten from people, and even people that have gone through the scholarship program that are older now, just the thank yous and how much it meant to them.
I think that's really important, because I mean, not every family has the resources to be able to pay to play. And so I think having that available to everybody is really important, because, you know, anybody that's played, I think, a team sport can appreciate just how much a team sport does for somebody. You know, just so many different things. I mean, you probably could speak about that forever, about the you know, how
I mean, aside from being busy and keeping kids running in the right direction, it teaches them how to work with other kids. It teaches them sportsmanship. It teaches them skills that they're going to learn in life, aside from just the sports aspect of it. So that's, you know, they're really life lessons, you know, on top of all the positives that being healthy and being active and everything brings with it.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things about OBGC when we first went out to the fields is the sign that's out there that like tells parents, like, here are the rules of, like, the kids are there to have fun. And we went from travel soccer to like regular soccer, and the difference, right? Or part of what appalled me at travel soccer was the number of parents that were just berating their kids. And you're like, they're 6, right? Like, they're trying their best, but they still have 2 left feet, right? Or like the middle schoolers who have like grown, and I call them awkward giraffes. My son is almost 13, and watching middle schoolers run is probably the funniest thing if they aren't naturally athletic, because so I love, right, that philosophy that this is about the kids and they're here to have fun, and it's not a professional sports league.
No, and speaking of that, so on last Wednesday, we ran a parenting conference to kind of give parents. It was a free seminar up at Farquhar and we had a panel of Walt Williams, former NBA player, and different people that have kind of come up through sports, teaching parents how to be good sports parents, because we see the same issues that you do, and a lot of times they need support. And a lot of the parents that I've talked to, having gone through it with their own kids would go like, man, I wish I just would have been a little bit more calm, or it wasn't the end of the world when my kid didn't get a hit in that moment. And it's not like nobody's going to remember at 9, 10, 11, 12 years old what they did. But it's like, all right, well, what's the first question you ask your son or daughter after the game's over, when you get in the car? And how does that conversation go? And what's ways to make that positive as opposed to, something negative that maybe happened in the game? And some families are like, we have a rule. We don't talk about the game at all for a while. There's like a cooling off period, so you have to, it's really a delicate balance to not burn the kids out that, really hopefully enjoy the sports. And if they get so stressed and to the point that they, don't want to do it because there's so much pressure on them, or that they're not having success, it all kind of goes together. So we've done conferences seminars like that. We have someone that works with us, Brandon Geyer is a former Major League Baseball player. He runs a mental component where we're doing a lot more of, a mindset type classes for some of the kids that, talking about breath work before and vision and getting the outside factors out and visualization. So we're doing a lot more of that as well to help the kids with some of the stressful moments that are going to come up. So those are definite huge pieces of the sports world that are challenges right now that you brought up. And those are things that we're kind of trying to do to support the kids on that end as well.
That's awesome. So a little bit more just about OBGC and the different programs. So I didn't grow up in this area. We had nothing like this where I grew up in rural small town, Ohio. So this is very new to me. My kids are getting to that age. And I hear from many, many parents, like Megan was saying, the travel teams are very intense, and these parents have all these high expectations. And if you want to be good at something, you have to do it all year round. What types of programs does OBGC offer? Do they have those super competitive teams that you can try out for whatever? Or is it more kind of like Megan was saying, like, let's just come have a good time and learn how to get along? Or is it both?
We do both. I think that we have an in-house program for every sport pretty much that we run, that it's a little bit more laid back and casual, less time commitment. Maybe you practice once a week and then you play games on Saturdays or the weekends. A little bit more laid back, probably an atmosphere. And then we have higher level travel teams that it is more competitive. That's a lot of the coaching the parent on how to manage that part of it. But it is also about bringing in the right people, hopefully, so that you get the coaches that give the environment that you want, even at the higher level of travel sports. Okay. For example, the last couple of years for our travel baseball teams, we've been fortunate in that, like Sean Davis, who's the head coach at Sherwood, his son's going through the program, so he's coaching one of the teams. Mm-hmm. And we feel really good about someone like that and what they bring to the table in terms of all of it. Mm-hmm. And then, so it's just, we try to offer something for everybody because there's different things that people want.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I'm asking, because I'm hoping my kids get involved in some sports soon, and mommy needs to know what to expect.
It is good to do a lot of different things. Like I do recommend, you shouldn't specialize early. You should expose the kids to a lot of different sports, let them have fun, let them play, see what they inevitably want to do and what they kind of levitate towards and then it'll kind of come to you, you'll know. But doing, if you're a baseball or softball player, playing basketball in the winter is great because they're different muscles that you're using, and it's a different skill set. So it's good to do different things.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Just not all the things at the same time.
No, it's a lot of time.
Going to talk about Cropdusters.
I would not be doing my job if I did not bring up the Olney Cropdusters. I think I said I serve on the board with Brad. So tell us about the Cropdusters. I'll let you.
And you're fantastic. You're a huge part of our board because Lindsay actually helps place all of our host families, which is one of the coolest aspects of what the Cropdusters is. So the Cropdusters are part of the Cal Ripken League. There's about 8 teams in the league currently. We have kids from all over the country come in from different colleges to play summer baseball with us. So the kids that are coming in from out of state, like we'll get a host family that Lindsay will help place them with. And then they'll kind of be their family for the summer. And you can talk a little bit more about exactly what that looks, because you host the kids as well, which is awesome. And then they play roughly 40 games and then playoffs, and it goes, all of June and all of July. And then they go back to college. So this is their chance to kind of get some work in and get reps in before they go back to their colleges for their summer, for their fall seasons. It's been tremendously rewarding. It's a fantastic program. And we've been blessed, to really better our stadium over the last couple of years. And it's fantastic. It's a great environment to come watch games. So it's also, as great as it is for the kids coming in, it's been great for the community to come out. Our baseball players, our softball players come to the games. We have all kind of different themes. We have fun shirts we do. We did fireworks last year that we're doing again this year. So it's become a real fun community event on top of all the good that it does for the kids coming in and experiencing the Olney area.
Yeah, agreed. And my husband and I accidentally fell into being part of the team, and
accidentally.
It really was. We bought a hoodie. We saw a hoodie at the family room and bought it and said, "What is this? Let's Google it." And it said, "Do you want to host a player?" So my husband said, "Hey, do you want a college kid to live in our house this summer?" I was like, sure. Here we are, 4th year. We won't take fewer than 2 now. But no, we absolutely love it. I love our board. I think it's just every year is getting better, and we're learning and growing, and the stadium is so much better. But if anybody's listening wants to, is interested in hosting a family, I think we have enough now this year. I think, but no, we're always looking for host families, because these kids really do come spend their summer with us, and they are lovely, lovely, lovely young men. I have not heard one complaint from a host family yet about a disrespectful player, and we just have so much fun. But yeah, it all happens at OBGC, and it's just, like I said, I didn't know anything about OBGC till I joined the Cropdusters organization. And now I love it, and I can't wait for my kids to be a part of it.
And you can speak. You've developed relationships where you'll go and watch the players at school now, right? Like,
yeah. We keep in touch. My husband actually went to a Notre Dame football playoff game and stayed with one of our host
that's
families.
That's awesome. And that's what it's all about. Like it's. I think that's the best part about that whole thing.
It's so fun.
We had a kid from Hawaii a couple years ago, like that experienced Olney.
Yeah,
right?
He's actually with the Jarmans today, who hosted him 2 years ago. They're hanging out today. He graduated.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, how awesome is that? So it's just been great on all different levels.
But anyway, so it's great. So just a couple more questions for you. I know we talked about how much you love coaching and sports, but what inspired you to take on this role? Because it sounds like a big one.
Yeah, no, I think that, I said it at the beginning, is when we kind of went over, my bio, like I really got involved with OBGC because I loved it. I was a volunteer first. I coached my kids. I was a commissioner. So I put a lot of volunteer pieces into the organization before, I came on job wise. And, I actually ran health clubs for like 20 years previous to working for OBGC. And, it just, the environment had changed, and it was different than it was when I first started out, and the reason that I really got into it. And this was an opportunity to do something in my community. I live 5 minutes away from the park. It was an opportunity that I felt like we could do more. I felt like we could, build more, add more sports, and do more for the families, and to make the programs better, and to have better camps. And I saw a lot of opportunity when I started. And now that I'm the director, I have a lot more opportunity to implement a lot of those visions and thoughts. And, we've done a lot at the park improvement wise over the last couple of years. We have a lot of lofty goals as we continue to move forward. But ultimately, with everything we do, it really starts and is all about the kids and the sports. Like that's what we're always going to be. It's like Disney says, it was about a mouse, right? Like it's this big empire now, but it was about a mouse to start with. And for us, it's just about the kids and making sure that they have a place to be safe and happy. And you can kind of, nurture them and help develop them into good human beings.
Yeah. Agreed.
I'm going to switch this question up a little bit. What's the one piece of advice you wish more people understood when it came to youth sports?
Kind of what I said earlier, that like nobody's going to remember what kids did at 11, 9, 10, 11 years old. Let them have fun. Let them enjoy it. Sit back and enjoy watching them play. It goes really quickly. I mean, my kids I snapped my fingers and they were in high school and college, and it really flies by. And it's like, sit back and enjoy it and don't get stressed out about like what's happening on the field, and understand what it's really about at the end of the day.
I know a couple, it made me think a couple people I know that run Instagram accounts for their kids.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Gosh, that's a lot of time.
Brad's son's playing on the team again this year, Cropdusters.
Yeah, he's a sophomore at Frostburg this year. He's doing really well, and he'll be back for his third year with the Cropdusters this year.
So you're a host family too.
I am a host family, yes.
And the last question we ask is, what is one item that you cannot live with in your day-to-day, or that you cannot live without in your day-to-day life?
I mean, I think everybody would probably say their phones these days, but for me, I'll go in a different direction and say my treadmill. I run every day. I get up in the morning every day, and I usually get between 5 and 6 miles in. It's kind of my way that I clear my head and think and start the day and do something active and healthy, and kind of gets the endorphins going for the day. So I'll say my treadmill to say something different.
Good for you. I usually just say coffee, but
no, there you go. Coffee's a good one. Coffee's a good one. Caffeine.
Caffeine, 100. That's my morning workout routine is drinking coffee.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much, Brad. This was fun, and I've learned some things about OBGC, and I can't wait till the fall, actually.
Yeah,
and
we're looking forward to having your two over there. as crazy as they drive us all at the Cropdusters games, and they're going to be fun to have around the park too.
Be careful what you wish for.
I know.
All right. Well, have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day.
Bye.